Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Genshin Impact playthrough session, and at long last, we are getting into the tail end of content for version 4.2, prior to the 4.3 launch of content with Navia, and all the new content that's going to be coming in the next week. The Fontaine Archon quest is officially wrapped up. We did Farina's story quest. We did the Thelxie event quest as well. I am finally able to get into what I've been anticipating for a really long time, ever since 4.1. We are going to be starting wrapping up and seeing the conclusion to the Narzissenkreuz Ordo World Quest series that has started back in 4.0, and what we've been discovering and learning thus far about Rene de Petrichor's journey of discovering a worldwide prophecy of a world-ending catastrophe and trying to prevent it with his friends Jacob Ingold, Elaine Guillotin, Marianne Guillotin, Seymour, and just this kind of ragtag group of individuals, along with Director Lyris, Carter, and Vice Director Basil Elton. And so we've been just kind of putting all this lore together. I have my notebook present. I'm really excited to see what additional information we come to, how this is going to be concluded. We did see the Doomsday Clock situation, like the part of the clock fell from the ceiling in the 4.2 live stream trailer. So I'm just kind of interested to see if we're gonna avert a second crisis after we just saved Fontaine from the Primordial Sea. And we also did Unfinished Comedy with Caterpillar. So Caterpillar is the latest addition to the group, along with Anne, Seymour. So everything else is seemingly coming together. Jacob has been MIA. He was also involved a little bit in some of the other content that we were doing in 4.2, such as the Wild Fairy of Arrhenius. So I'm wondering if he's gonna pop back up again, if we're gonna get anything of Elaine, like any lore. Is he gonna make some type of appearance? I know he lived into his old age. With all that said, I'm rambling at this point. I do apologize. There's just a lot of things that I'm trying to recap since it has been a little bit of time, but we do have to head back to the Ordo location. So search in the Algae Sea. Return to the Narzissenkreuz Ordo. It has been a while. Time to head back to the Narzissenkreuz Ordo and see how everyone's doing with their investigation. I was also told that this quest is going to take us into this new area of the map that I have yet to explore. So we are probably going to unlock the Statue of the Seven here, and I believe this is where the tower's located. And I'll try to do as much exploration as I can, and whatever I don't get to, we'll get back to it whenever I am able to off stream. Oh my gosh, everyone's here. Seymour, Caterpillar, and Anne. Wow, the squad. Night, MurderofBirds. Paimon, you're back. You bet we are. Have you found anything new in the meantime? Mr. Caterpillar and I have been doing some research, and we found out we're ancient transcendent beings of our former years. We actually all knew each other in a former life. We've discovered that Seymour doesn't, in fact, have an annihilation mode. Damn. Seymour, you were just talking all that smack. Following data fragment sorting, this phrase is found to have been derived from the novel Prisoner 6, Overrun. In that book, the World Organization launched a mass annihilation agent to hunt a chimera down. Wait, that stuff's not important at all. Apart from using our free time to go out and investigate, we've also read through the books collected here one more time. We couldn't make heads or tails of them first, and even now, well, they certainly are well written. I don't know whose handwriting it is, or what scribe or copyist was hired, but their penmanship is clear and clearly beautiful. A master of calligraphy if I ever saw one. Wait, so you were talking about the handwriting? Ugh. Paimon's got a bad feeling about this already. Did you not find anything during the time then? All right, sorry. I shan't jest any further. As you know, we told you all that we found the last time without holding anything back. However, I fear that this time there are some clues hidden in detail that we must rely on chance to reveal. Chance? Indeed. For example, if no further revelations concerning a murder emerge, then the blood on the painting will still remain a red smear. Then what would this chance be, Caterpillar? Well, why don't we do a quick recap of everything we've discovered? Let's make some deductions regarding what happened in the past. That might give us the opportunity to fill in some gaps and help us support or refute our views. That's a good idea. I've always felt there was so much about this that's familiar, but I can't recall anything about it. Negative, I can give a continuous account of the resources that I have sorted. Ah, silly dog. Didn't you... Stupid dog, you made me look bad. Didn't you only recover your creator's name after talking to us about the matter? Mechanical noises. Negative. I merely match similar sounds during said interaction. There is no data loss involved. However, I do append that I too find that keyword searches make searching for entries more efficient. All right, so what do we discuss? Well, for a bit of a warm-up or a teaser, if you will, you may be referring to a heater? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. So let's start off our deductions with something simple. What is the Marianne in the Anaposis exactly? Holy shit, getting to the brass tacks of it. That's what I want to know. Is she like the dream consciousness of Anne? I have no idea. That Marianne holds the greatest secret of all. I'm sure you can see that too. Let's get ourselves some armchairs, maybe break open a few beers. Oh wait, you can't drink yet. Anyways, let's help to sort this finding out. I'll start first. Well, the name Marianne itself certainly is familiar to me. The name of a person I was meant to protect is Marianne. Yes, but I have no data regarding the identity of the one who resides within the Anaposis. We have missing context. I can only conclude based on a human, unmodified lifespan that they are not the same person. That would seem to be the case, huh? It's been a few hundred years after all. Well, as for Paimon, she ate chicken mushroom skewer this morning? Well, guess it's my turn. You mentioned before that you encountered oceanid creatures that had a great deal of character. One might say personality even. The precondition for such for such creatures and their characters is the same. That an intelligent oceanid has already understood their original forms beforehand. So were you the one who willed those creatures into being, Anne? Don't you think that's kind of weird? You know, summoning familiar friends to play house with you from who knows how long and stuff? Well, I didn't do that. I actually had to get to know Peticho, Al, and the others first. Well then, in that case, let's see what we can deduce from the things we already know. Let me think back on what's happened. Got it. I'm gonna take a picture real quick with the squad. All taking a picture together like this? That's so cool. Look at the camera, Aether! Oh my gosh, it's a freaking group photo. Oh my god, I love it. Let's get everyone together. Look at this. This is golden right here, bro. All right, so let's talk to Seymour and Anne first before we talk to him again. Seymour! How can I help you, Mr. Murder of Birds? Command, recall what happened before. Of course, you repaired me inside Elenus. I was only capable of repeating a fixed set of lines until then. Oh, Paimon remembers something like that. That was outrageous. Please forgive me. It was a necessary measure to preserve my internal storage. Even Mimir forgives you, so you have no right to stay angry. So we have no right to stay angry. Mimir. I wonder how she's doing. My long-term memory module frequently requests updates for her file. Aww. AKA, I miss her. I want to have more updated memory with her. Oh, that's cute. After that, we thwarted the schemes of Jacob of the Narzissenkreuz Ordo. And as I must find my wards, Miss Marianne, I shall go with you. All right, so we understand how Seymour came to be. Now we go to Anne. Knight, Murder of Birds, Paimon, do you have any questions for me? Could you refresh my memory on what happened previously? Have you forgotten certain details? I'm just a little oceanid, so explaining every little thing might be beyond me. Anyways, I was determined to rescue Peticho when we first met. Luckily, Paimon and you helped. Later on, we intended to rescue Princess Lyris and defeat the evil dragon, but we met Marianne. She told us things I couldn't understand and seemed like she was holding on to some very important secret. Yeah, I feel like that's like your inner you, honestly. And we got Caterpillar, so Caterpillar's gonna give us a recap and then I'll forward the plot. You didn't go ahead and save the world while we split up to investigate now, did you? Wait, does Caterpillar know that we did the Fontaine Archon quest? What the hell? That's crazy. A lot has happened indeed. It's no wonder you've forgotten what we went through together. I jest, of course. Maybe you're tired and it's eluding you for now. To put it simply, we met in the Fortress of Meripede and you helped me rescue Lenoir. And now it's my turn to help you. Aw, that's nice. All right, here we go. I just thought of something. Masaka. Okay, we gotta put our thinking caps on. What Paimon ate this morning? Hold on. Wait, did Zach get paid?
Let me talk, you butthole!
No! Damn, RIP to Zach's bank account. They really did man's dirty, bro. What the hell? No voice acting for Zach? Actually scammed? Chicken mushroom skewer, at the risk of missing major plot points and important foreshadowing, I don't think this is related to Anne's background either. Damn. Wow, they really got rid of that for Paimon. That's not nice. Paimon, don't worry. I appreciate that. I appreciated that little excerpt on chicken mushroom skewer. Watch that comes back and is like a major plot focus. The Oceanid creatures and Anaposis. Oceanids are sentient creatures unique to Fontaine, and they can create Oceanid creatures through mimicry and transformation. I remember all the strange and wonderful Oceanid creatures we met before we met Marianne. Okay. Let's see. The name Marianne. Anne said that the name sounded familiar. I should ask her about it should something come up in my mind. To Seymour, she is someone that he must protect. Either way, ordinary humans don't live that long. It's been several hundred years, so they're probably not the same person, right? I don't know, man. About Anne. Anne is a small Oceanid. She didn't create the Oceanid creatures in Anaposis. Speaking of, just how do Oceanids reproduce again? Damn. All right, let's see. There are Oceanids in Anaposis. Maybe Osile can create water creatures, but it's extraordinary to be able to create creatures with rich personalities. It's almost certain that there's an Oceanid in Anaposis controlling everything. Who can she be? The Marianne in Anaposis seems very mysterious. We once suspected that Anne was a character from her dreams. Anne's far too weak to control that whole realm, so she can't be the Oceanid behind it all. Oh, the enigmatic Marianne. Marianne, who has the same name as Seymour's owner and who seems to know everything. If she's not an Oceanid, she's probably related to the Oceanid behind all of this. I wonder if it's Director Lyris then. Wasn't Director Lyris an Oceanid? They said that she was like the Red Empress. I think that's what they called her. Maybe it's maybe Director Lyris is still around. That's enough for now. More than enough for a warm-up. Correct. The oddities in Anaposis all point towards the power of the Oceanids, but this is not Miss Anne's doing. All of this together means there's another Oceanid in Anaposis? That is what I suspect. An Oceanid with whom Marianne has a close relationship. Or perhaps she could be the princess herself. Princess Lyris. Do you mean to say that Marianne may in fact... Didn't I say that at the beginning of the freaking Narzissenkreuz adventure team? I'm like, I wonder if Lyris is actually her. Like, they were doubling up on so many of the character references that I was like, bro, I actually am and this was before I learned about Director Lyris. So I don't know if these people are like, did their consciousnesses merge and like Marianne and Princess Lyris are one being? But then it's like her name's Marianne, but she's being manipulated by another Oceanid. So I don't know. It's weird. Yes, Lyris. Yeah, the Red Empress of the Narzissenkreuz Ordo from back then. The Red Empress who loves to take heads. Take head. Oh my God, she's like the Queen of Hearts. I seem to have a vague recollection of something like that. Whoa. But it's not a story about Lyris. Rather, it's a fairy tale about someone named Marianne. I wonder if that's the story that Elaine was telling her. Yes, the taking heads thing is just a metaphor. Lyris is made of pure water and so has the ability to dissolve and extract people's will. Wow, I had no idea that was even possible. The Narzissenkreuz Ordo used her to extract the ego and become holy. Researching the keyword Lyris has yielded relevant information. Talking to the Red Empress has reminded me of a few things about Marianne. Mull that over a while first, then speak to speak to Miss Anne and Seymour. See if the conclusions have awakened any new memories. Holy moly. Damn, Princess Lyris can extract people's will. That's insane. All right, collect more leads and gather your thoughts. Holy moly. All right, Seymour, walk with me, talk with me, dude. Shall I summarize the entries regarding Lyris I possess to you two? Yes, thank you. Please do. Omitting the standard citation format. Reconstructing output to match format report to superiors. Lyris is a registered Oceanid. She is not eligible to be stationed in the waters outside Fontaine and has become a special source of information for the nation. She was appointed as the director of the orphanage to symbolize the love and affection of the previous Hydro Archon. So Lyris was one of those familiars then, along with Focalors, I'm assuming? I can only surmise that that's the case. The orphanage's affairs was mainly managed by its human vice director. Okay. So she appointed Lyris to watch over the orphanage, but it was really run by Basil Elton, who was the human that could probably manage the humans better than an Oceanid. An orphanage director? Then how is she connected to the Narzissenkreuz Ordo? As director, Lyris was very affectionate towards the children and quite devoted to them, but her intelligence amongst Oceanids was below average. She wasn't very good at working out the cause and effect of things, nor could she even count. As a result, she was not qualified to perform covert investigations. Ah, sounds like a big old cat mom who can't count. You know, because cats can't count, so they pick up their kittens one by one and keep going back until there aren't any. Okay, Paimon. Very interesting Paimon analogy there. Later, the orphanage was destroyed during the calamity and official records of her stop there. They say she failed to understand the link between the disaster, the orphans fleeing, and her own conduct. And so she wanders the ruins, drowned in guilt and expectations. I have an underwater locomotion module. Once, Marianne and I dove down to the ruins of the orphanage, whose coordinates were the same as those of Anapasis. There, we found an Oceanid swimming sadly in circles. When she next appeared in the records, she was a core member of the Narzissenkreuz Ordo and the subject of a high-priority arrest warrant. Oh, she doesn't seem like a bad person. Considering that she may be connected to Anne, she must have been tricked? Ah, yes, there's another important piece of information worth noting. The orphanage's name was the Narzissenkreuz Institute. There are all Marchese Phantom files that Mr. Elaine Guillotine recorded for testing light sensitivity while designing me. The output is via my image to text to speech module. According to eyewitness testimony regarding who I suspect to be Lyris, there shouldn't be any problems. And you may have heard of this elsewhere, but it's worth mentioning again. Elaine and Marianne were orphans in the care of the Narzissenkreuz Institute before the Marechose Hunter, Emmanuel Guillotine, took them in. Thank you, Seymour. God damn, bro. The lore is so massive with Emmanuel Guillotine and then also Eduardo Baker and like how they... Dude, I fucking love the lore of this freaking quest line. It's so good. Everything comes together so neatly once you like figure everything out individually and then piece it all together. All right, so next up we got Anne. All right, Night Murder of Birds. I've remembered the name Marianne. Oh, do tell. It's familiar to me because it's from a children's story, the same one that the Red Empress comes from. The female lead, Little, Alice Little, Alice in Wonderland. Come on now. Literally through the looking glass moment. The female lead, Little, was mistaken for Marianne, the servant, and Marianne never appeared throughout the entire story. Maybe Marianne never really existed, except as a figment in someone's dream. How do you know about this story, Anne? And isn't that a good question? How do I know about it? The memory feels more vivid than those I have in the story of the evil dragon Narcissus. I wonder if in Marianne's final moment, something occurred that manifested that fairy tale that her brother told her, where he like self-inserted a character using her name and like through whatever process brought that character into being through like, I don't know, through Oceanid memories or Oceanid powers that, or like even her dreams of that fairy tale potentially. Because like Marianne is her real name, but Marianne is also the name of the character that Elaine created at the last minute when he was telling her like that bedtime story. So I'm kind of curious of like if that's somehow related in any way. All right, last but not least, Caterpillar. Paimon feels like you've changed a lot since we met you in the Fortress of Meripede, Caterpillar. Would a 5-year-old child and a 15-year-old teenager be the same? Okay. Damn, bro, you telling me you leveled up that quickly? Perhaps returning here simply reminds me of the past of who I used to be. Time is frozen in the fortress. Being locked up there for a day or 100 years, I'm afraid it made no difference to me. Lenoir is what made time flow for me. Watching her grow reminded me that time still passes and life is still being born, shining brilliantly and then being extinguished. And so I changed as well. That said, my past self, the person I was before I met her, would certainly be more helpful to Anne and Seymour in our current situation. That's true. Don't be like that, Paimon. Just think about it. Making up stories for La Noire was nothing more than putting such ways of thinking to good use. Regardless, it has nothing to do with the current situation. You look like you still have questions. Since we have our own suspicions about Anne and Lyris's relationship, we have topics of discussion that can be used to refute and sustain those conjectures. How do oceanids reproduce? I'm sure you have friends more knowledgeable than I regarding that. Perhaps you can find even scholars of natural philosophy who have dedicated research to the question. Or you could have asked the oceanids you know personally, but you asked me. Of course I know what you mean, so this is your speculation, I see. Paimon doesn't get it. When we exchanged information earlier, Murder-of-Birds mentioned that Anne is the person in Marianne's dreams. Or perhaps she might be a manifestation made by Marianne, an oceanid. Oceanid, why the repetition? Are you just trying to make it sound cuter? Apologies, perhaps my description was ill done. No, Paimon's just a three-head. Still, can an oceanid create an oceanid creature version of an ocean? Dude, that's way too dank. What the hell? Wow, that's deep. That's like asking if hard candies can be used to filter for other hard candies. What would you say to that? That question's really interesting, but Paimon's already hungry for answers. I suppose I'd have to say, still, you may not realize just how deep this rabbit hole goes, so let me explain. You might be confused as to why there are oceanid creatures with personalities in Anaposis. If oceanids can create oceanid creatures, then they can create oceanid humans or oceanids. Bro, my fucking brain. Convention dictates that it's rare for oceanids to be able to mimic a human, unless the human drowns in their arms, or the oceanid has spent extensive time with the person and knows everything about them. And the oceanid in question must also have tremendous wisdom and compassion. I'm afraid perhaps only one as powerful as Rodea could do it. Wow, so that means Edea must have been incredibly strong. It's so rare to mimic humans, but not impossible. Now, creating another oceanid, that's different. That is interesting. I feel like every oceanid that we met that has like a human, that takes on like a human image, I think that's kind of telling to the strength of that individual. Edea, Rodea, Caliroe, not really Focalors because she was an oceanid first. But yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, and they mentioned Edea because we did that event. That's really cool. That's really neat too. That makes me really glad to know that I did that quest. Creating humans using human knowledge can only be achieved by gods. And the same applies to oceanids creating oceanids. It usually should be impossible in this world, at least. Unless you appropriate the primordial sea. Unless this human or oceanid has already placed themselves above their own kind and attempted such insanity. You mean they thought they had become a god? That's right. Followers blindly believe in their leaders, who in turn blindly believe in themselves, giving rise to delirium and delusions. I can do what a god can do. Their deeds are not that great after all. A powerful belief is also a powerful will, and magic is a skill that molds reality to your will. Perhaps the descendant hypothesis makes more sense. Perhaps Marianne doesn't consider herself an oceanid type? Perhaps, it's possible, and quite understandable too. If nothing else, the Lyris I know doesn't have any kind of intelligence, nor would she be this crazy. I have some less mainstream ideas about how oceanids reproduce, but they're not important, and we can discuss them later. I wonder if there was a sort of merging then, because Renee dissolved into the primordial waters, and he had all of the intellect and knowledge to know what to do. But if Lyris didn't, he was regarded as the Narcissus, the fell dragon. But that fell dragon was just a giant oceanid. So I'm wondering if he and Lyris, because like he has a strong will and he's intelligent, but she's of a divine nature, but she's not that smart. So like, and he's immortal. So like him being immortal, her being divine, her being dumb, him being smart, would kind of blend really well to have the best of both worlds, to have a divine being who's also smart, with a strong will, who has the power to save the world. They said the only way that an Oceanid can be that of like an Oceanid human is if they embrace someone when they drown or something like that, or they know them really well. And for all we know, Renee drowned in those he dissolved, which I guess is the next best thing, or the closest thing. Now let's reorganize the information that everyone just recalled. This might take some time, and it might be somewhat hard on our throats. Yeah, I know, tell me about it. I'm freaking reading all this stuff out loud. So regarding Elaine's younger sister, Marianne, the Anaposis's Marianne, and the Red Empress Lyris, and the Anne who's with us. Good Lord. This is Genshin Impact lore, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really out here trying to put this shit together. What will our conclusion be? How will we sustain it, and how shall we refute it? All right, let's fucking do it. Everyone gathers. Put your brains together. You too, Paimon, and leave the food out of it. Is there anything else you found we should add? As I mentioned before, Marianne is not only the princess in Anne's story, but she's also the person I must protect. She is the younger sister of Elaine Guillotine, who designed me, 4 ACV07. As for matters concerning me, I suppose you already know all of them now, Murder of Birds. Speaking of which, didn't we also hear all sorts of stuff while we were in Elenus? Seymour was also damaged during that time. How did it go? Did you think of anything? About the damage to Seymour and Elenus, about the Red Empress, the Oceanid Anne. Huh? What about me again? We once suspected that you might be the person in Marianne, the person Marianne dreamed of. So in your view, Marianne is the Oceanid behind the curtains, yes? I don't know. Well then, did you find the name Lyris familiar? She is, after all, the only Oceanid involved in this apart from yourself. If you mention the title, the Red Empress, then yes, I do have some impression of it. All right, let's try the Red Empress then. She was an important figure in the Narzissenkreuz Ordo, and she is also the other Oceanid involved in the tale apart from Miss Anne. One of only 2 Oceanids, and we also just agreed that we believe that it may be an Oceanid behind Anaposis. She has traits that don't match up to those of the Marianne we encountered. Could it be that Lyris's imagination was behind everything, even me? It's unlikely. Seymour mentioned that her intelligence was quite limited, so the phantoms of this sort would be quite hard for her, similar to how an author would struggle to write a character more intelligent than themselves. In fairy tales, kittens may dream of their living little master, but I fear such things don't happen much in real life. So, who was behind it all, and who in the world is this Marianne? All right, about the damage to Seymour and Elenus. That's right, Seymour was damaged inside Elenus, and Mimir's been taking care of him. To my shame, yes, though I do not have such emotions. You can see it as me having lowered my assessment of myself. And according to Elenus, the battle that occurred within his body ended quite terribly. Evidently, it was the battle that damaged you and was an incredibly fierce one. But considering that you were damaged, then your master might have been... Common sense dictates that the fate of Marianne Guillotine, sister of Elaine Guillotine, was most likely a grim one. But this world is full of tales of loyal knights who exchanged their lives for a miracle, so you shouldn't grieve too much, Seymour. Seymour appears to have entered data fragment sorting mode out of pure shock. But your master, Marianne, was an ordinary human being, wasn't she? And the time that has passed since then far surpasses the lifespan of any human. Damn, dude. The Marianne and Anaposis. That makes her our prime suspect then. To be honest, were you using the process of elimination? You actually already guessed this much long ago. I didn't want to disrespect Anne though. You're right, but you do already have a version of the story in your heart, your own interpretation, yes? If that's the case, then we should go find that Marianne and see for ourselves. Please permit me to change the topic for a moment. Does this mean that I shall no longer be able to fulfill my orders to protect Marianne? We've worked out this much, and that's the only bit you care about? It may be cruel, but from the moment we discovered that the Guillotine siblings were from centuries ago, it was probably inevitable. Correction. So the conclusion would be that it was my incompetence that exposed Marianne to danger. Do not blame yourself. You have fought to the point of destruction. You have done your part. There's no need to be so pessimistic either, though that is an odd thing to say to a machine. Yeah, it's like pouring Fanta in the sink and then saying, "Sink, you'll get fat if you keep drinking like Okay, Paimon. Oh, 4ACV07. I can't believe you remembered that. What is it, Mr. Caterpillar? Why use my official designation? We may not have reached any conclusions, but we know what to do next. Look, there is a Mary Ann in Anaposis too, and she also has close links to the Narzissenkreuz Ordo. My long-term memory module confirms this. As such, there's no need to restore your logic module to factory reset yet. Let's take a step back. We still need to find Mary Ann. Thank you for your logistical troubleshooting and emotional adaptive maintenance. I think what you said makes sense. It is not yet time to admit defeat and restore myself to my initial settings in order to take a... Damn, this man was about to factory reset himself. He's like, oh, well, I guess Mary Ann's dead. I failed my mission. Better reset and start a new path in my life. Yeah, that's right, you stupid dog. You made me look bad. Let's leave things here for a while. Once you're ready, we can continue. Why don't we go find Mary Ann? Let's solve this mystery before tackling the Narzissenkreuz Ordo issue. I concur. Ah, the fairy tale water world. I gather that some things happened over there then. We ran into immunity-related issues due to Night MurderofBirds' hydro residence, that's all. Paimon feels like the extraordinary instinct awakened in you after you met Seymour, Anne. Is it time to review responsibilities and apportion blame? I do not think I should be held accountable, for I can only override my protective prerogative in moments of great danger. Don't worry, MurderofBirds. We'll make Mary Ann tell us everything this time. All right, let us go. Are we going back to the real Anaposis? I really am happy about that because I didn't get to take all that many pictures last time. And I was there for a very, very brief moment. So if that is in fact true, oh, never mind. We're not going back to the real one. We're going back to this one, Sag. I don't know, maybe. I mean, you got to get to Anaposis to get to the real Anaposis, so it's possible. It's Anapossible.
Stop it. Get some help.
We haven't been here in such a long time. I missed the squad. We're back again. Dude, Caterpillar, you would have loved the homies, bro. Jack was king. Jack was goated. He was so funny. We're back again. This time I must... Mary Ann. That's the spirit, Miss Ann. In truth, I must confess to being somewhat jealous of you. You still hold out hope of recovering your past. I've been searching for centuries, but I haven't found a thing. So please, do your best for this old Caterpillar's past as well, all right? Figure your past out and come to accept your present self. Yep, I will. Aw, I love that moment. He's like, hey, make sure you find out your past for the both of us. Wait, what? What? Excuse me, what the hell? I was not expecting this. I thought these two were gone. Jacob and Elaine of all of them? Whoa, what are you guys doing here? Oh my God, Jack is back. I was just talking about how cool he was. He was so funny. The gang's back together. We're just missing Renee at this point. But we have Elaine, Jacob, Mary Ann, potentially Carter, and Seymour. We can literally stop the quest right here and just let bygones be bygones and go back to enjoying our life together. It's real good to see you. It's good that I can't control myself anymore. Please dodge to the best of your ability. She asked us to give you a message. Oh, I see. Okay. So these are like the remnants of them. It's not actually them. Yeah, I got a little too excited. I was like, there's no way. I was not expecting this. She asked me to send you a message, but now let me take out her handwritten letter with my hands, which are much like yours, yellow and white one, bruh. I don't want to hear your stories. I prefer my vision. No! Oh, this is so fucked. Why are you making me fight Jacob and fucking Elaine? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not fighting these two. Why would you do this? Why would you have them sacrifice themselves only to bring them back and have me have to kill them? This is not... You know what? Hold on. Hold that pose. There we go. I'll just keep them perpetually frozen in time. I can't look. Why would you do this, Hoyoverse? All right, we got a little shot of Jacob there. This is so messed up.
Take cover.
I hate it here. I hate it. I hate everything. These people did not, I mean, well, Jacob's still alive, but Elaine did not die once to die twice to now die 3 times the charm. Like, come on now. Well, it was Princess Lyris's magic. That's just how the story goes. Let me check. Let me think of a way. Close your eyes, everyone. A temporary optical sensor shutdown. Understood. Wait, why do we have to do that? The essence of a mime is pretense. The charade that something is still here. And belief is the heart of magic. The faith that there is meaning here. So let's close our eyes. So Anne, begin imagining what it would look like if that bubble was still here. You close your eyes and feel some sort of fluctuation. I prefer the story of the Narzissenkreuz adventure team sitting down happily for tea time after their adventure has ended. Wow, it really appeared. Oh my god, dude. Are we in a fairy tale book right now? Are we in a freaking story? The Ordo called this step the process of imagining something in such detail. Imagine. Imaging. I see. Dude, we're literally doing a whole freaking fairy tale story moment right now. All right. We're going back, gamers. Round 2, Electric Boogaloo. Are we going back to the real Anaposis this time? Eh? It's an entrance. It's the entrance that's disappeared this time. Okay, well, guess what? We have to image another one. This reminds me of the projections from the Valoria Mirage, actually. And do you know to make the portal? Can you do the imaging thing on it? All right, let me give it a shot. You close your eyes and a lonesome silence comes over you. But everyone's left. They won't come back no matter how long I wait. I can't, it seems. Wait, why? How are we supposed to see Marianne then? I suspect that this is because the portal has lost meaning and thus cannot be recreated. From what you told me before, the entrance that was once placed here led to a story that has yet to be written. Now that she has said everything she wanted to, the story no longer has any meaning. Marianne is rejecting our answer, and that is why the way is shut. Does this mean we're going to return empty-handed? It does seem so. I wouldn't say we're completely out of luck. Did you notice something we didn't, MurderofBirds? I heard something while Anne was imaging. I did hear something then, so you can hear it too. What did you two hear? Might be best not to discuss personal secrets here. The walls might have ears and all. Let's head back and talk about this. Aw, really? We went all the way there just to turn around. I'm so sad. They really cucked me on that real Anaposis. I thought we were actually going to go back there. I'm so sad. So, could you tell us what you heard? Perhaps a hilly churl might hear something that humans and oceanids will not, just as how dogs and humans differ in that regard. I must correct your statement. My auditory components can indeed pick up higher and lower frequencies as compared to humans. However, I am not a dog. Moreover, a dog's low frequency hearing is similar to that of a human. Is that so? Well, I was talking about real dogs, not you 4ACV07. Haha, silly dog. That said, I don't think you would hear it too, Murderofbirds. I didn't think you would hear it too, Murderofbirds. I wonder if we heard the same thing, but everyone's left? They won't come back no matter how long I wait. Looks like we heard the same thing. I suspect that this was the inner voice of Marianne. Did she say something else? I'm not trying to invade anyone's privacy or anything. I just think that we're onto something here with you mentioning those words. Let me think. After that, I also heard something like, I prefer the stories of the Narzissenkreuz adventure team sitting down happily for tea time after their adventures has ended. And then, I don't want to hear your stories. I prefer my version. Have you noticed something off about this? Please state your case. Let's think our thoughts through first. Perhaps we really might be coming to some conclusions. All right. Wow, a lot of brainstorming for this portion of the quest, I'll say. Just crunching and figuring everything else out. At this point, we just need answers. All right, so let's reconvene and recap with everyone else and then chat with Caterpillar again. I'm very sorry. I may be unable to offer any logical support at this time. My listening equipment cannot hear inner voices. Don't worry, you've helped plenty already. Could you tell me your assessment? Is the Marianne and Anaposis the person I am meant to protect? I think she is. I am willing to believe your judgment, even if that means I have to update my data. According to my records, Marianne Guillotine never exhibited the behavior of waiting for others to come back after the Narzissenkreuz Institute was destroyed. That means she must have returned to the ruins here after being adopted, living here for a while. But there is no possible time frame that meets these requirements. Logical error. Data fragment sorting initiated. I'm really excited to hopefully get the answers of like all of the speculation. Is there anything else you want to say? I'm just an Oceanid who doesn't know anything, and I'm really bad at thinking. Even if you just told me a random story, I'd still believe it all, hook, line, and sinker. The world is too complicated after all, and I'm not experienced enough to spot any holes. I wouldn't do that. Thank you, Murder-of-Birds. I think that the Marianne in Anaposis is the same as me. She might look smart, but she doesn't want to accept this complicated world. So she chooses to protect herself with fairy tales. But even fairy tales must end. Aw. I don't know. Marianne just might be the remnants of past Marianne. Like the real one that we have to let go. You know, it's kind of like her consciousness and like all of the youthful, optimistic parts of her that still exist despite all of the bad stuff that's happened. I don't know. You don't seem to want to link the two of them together. Neither elimination nor enumeration is very fair to Anne. I'm sorry, enumeration. What a coincidence. I happen to agree. But I have some other thoughts to share too, though they may have nothing to do with the next step in my reasoning. Are you willing to listen? Yes. Earlier, we broached the topic of Oceanid reproduction. It is a huge taboo for Oceanids to mimic and transform into one of their own kind, just as it is for humans to create humans. Rhine-daughter. Damn, Rhine-daughter moment. But you see, humans can create humans through love. Go, pursue eternity, not through mystery, but love. What if, by some chance, this mysterious method of Oceanid reproduction is accomplished through imagination and mimicry? Perhaps their regret or remorse gives birth to a thought, and as they imagine the path that could have been taken, a new Oceanid is born. That's a very interesting idea. We'll never know. After all, it's a secret passed down amongst Oceanids only. In any case, we'll begin once you're ready. All right, let's start brainstorming. Zach, I'm so sorry you did not get paid. Who is Mary Ann? Let's see, Mary Ann Guillotine. The one that Seymour was supposed to protect. Something happened in Elenus, resulting in Seymour's damage and her disappearance. Where is she, and what is her relationship with Marianne, the Red Empress? A member of the Narzissenkreuz Ordo from several hundred years ago. Her whereabouts afterwards are unknown. She is also the only other Oceanid involved other than Anne. What Paimon ate this morning, that's like the crux of this entire... That's literally the freaking... The one thing keeping all of this lore together. This morning, Paimon ate... I don't know why I can't get this out of my head. Bruh. The foreshadowing. This can't really be foreshadowing. This really can't be foreshadowing, can it? Bro, come on. That's the second time they brought that up. It's gotta be important. The talkative Marianne. Marianne, who wove a fairy tale without an ending. She refused our visit, but she mentioned her memories from the Narzissenkreuz Institute. It sounds like she was waiting for everyone to return to the Institute ruins. All right, let's see. The memories waiting in the ruins. The person who once waited within the deserted ruins for everyone to return was Lyris, the former director. All right, let's see. Memories of the Institute. The only person who grew up in the Narzissenkreuz Institute and has a matching background is Marianne Guillotine. All right, Marianne's memories. Marianne has Marianne Guillotine's memories. Yes! Marianne has Lyris's memories. This is so extra right now. What if it is like a merging? What if it's one person, but with someone else's memories? What if it's Lyris with Marianne's memories? Marianne is Lyris? If so, then Marianne is Lyris. Another piece of evidence we have is that they could use Oceanid powers to control Anaposis. Marianne is that younger sister. If so, then Marianne is Marianne Guillotine. They have the same name and matching memories. Holy shit. The identities are contradictory? But how could she be both people at the same time? Holy fuck. Lyris's ability. This must mean that Lyris in Oceanid probably has special powers. Dissolving the personality and will. Her job in the Ordo was to dissolve the members' egos. What could have happened between her and the missing Marianne Guillotine? Ah! I'm so tired of people dissolving, bro. This is so extra. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger like web of like cross-referencing information. I've never seen more like examples on a screen. God damn, this man's astral braining right now. For some reason, Lyris dissolved Marianne Guillotine's personality, and afterwards their will now mixed began to dream. They dreamed of a simple world where the princess is saved and the evil dragon gets killed, while the heroes are always pressing onward. They dreamed of a world where everything was simple and had an answer as long as Anne was there. Thus, Anne and Marianne were born. Holy shit, that is huge. Holy shit, that's huge. I thought Renee would have gotten absorbed because he actually dissolved in the primordial waters. That's interesting. An Oceanid with the power to dissolve ego, will, and personalities. We've put the pieces of this case that were floating all over the algae sea back together. Hey, that's the name of the mission. It's just an empty box even after being put together, but we finally figured it out. What the lost pearl should look like. What are you trying to say, Caterpillar? Wait, don't give Paimon any hints. She wants to figure it out on her own. We pieced together a good guess from the clues, but the truth is still unproven? Of course, my speech analysis module has determined that Paimon is correct. Actually, I meant that we may never know the truth, but I'm afraid that we have no choice but to accept this conjecture. So, Murder of Birds, is this the secret of my birth? I'm afraid I can't accept something like this right now. I understand, Miss Anne. It's a shocking fact, and it requires you to accept yourself again. But I don't think that it could be that difficult to do so. After all, knowing your past does not require abandoning everything about your present. I do not understand the specific context of this discussion, but I would like to add that I do not believe I am different from how I was before suffering disc damage. Even though you insisted on addressing me as a silly dog, my identification number is still 4ACV07. Come on, it's not that serious. I promised Murder of Birds that I would accept this conclusion as long as it's reasonable. Then I have a suggestion, one that will resolve Miss Marianne's quandary and put a stop to the Narzissenkreuz plans. Narzissenkreuz? Oh, Paimon remembers now. You mentioned him before, Caterpillar. Just who is he, huh? I think that's Renee de Petrichor, the big leader, the leader of all of this, the GOAT. Well, simply put, the leader of the Narzissenkreuz Ordo. Whoa, sounds like he's got an impressive resume, but isn't the Narzissenkreuz Ordo always up to no good? Wouldn't that make him the nastiest of the lot? Of course, during my time with my master, creator, and the other Marechose hunters, we devoted most of our time to hunting the Ordo down. As I said before, the goal of the Elenus operation was to capture or eliminate Narzissenkreuz as well. However, my memories do not contain any intelligence regarding his involvement. That's a given. It's obvious, too, because Renee is the only character in this entire sequence, aside from, I guess, Elaine. No, well, Elaine has been mentioned, too, but only to the extent of being the person who created Seymour and the brother of Marianne, but Renee's is like a major missing factor in all of this. That's a given. Looking back at it now, he was merely using us as bait, and I wasn't the only one. It was the same for Jacob, Lyris, and many others in the Ordo. I'm afraid the Elenus operation was nothing more than a red herring with the goal of leading you and Guillotine away to buy more time to execute his true plans. Remember the doomsday clock I mentioned? Oh my god, I'm fucking stressing out. That thing is so close, it's not even funny. That's what the Ordo considered the countdown to the apocalypse, right? Yeah, I gotta save the world again. In the same patch, god damn it, no breaks. To be more precise, it's the apocalypse as calculated by the world formula. This planet itself should survive just fine though. The beast of the star... Oh my god. The beast of the stars shall drink the amniotic fluid of the world dry. 100 years more and all surface life shall be wiped away. That literally sounds like the narwhal drinking the waters of the primordial sea. Once life on the surface has wiped out, only that which is underwater shall remain. Can a planet full of fish eventually rise up to the ocean of stars? The thought of all terrestrial life going extinct is pretty spooky, but when you say things like that, it does give it a romantic ring. It's the heading of a Yai Publishing House novel from a few years back. Mamir bought it back to the village to learn how to paint. Oh, no wonder. Damn. Anyways, for myself and the others gathered here, though the Narzissenkreuz Ordo is the source of all of our troubles, its objective and Narzissenkreuz's greatest purpose is actually completely selfless. Yeah, see, here's the thing, right, chat? I get it. I get it, all right? I get it. But these people are trying to save the world and all existence from being destroyed. I guess the morality is what's complex about it. It's the way they're going about with all of these extremes, tapping into abyssal power, mutating people. I guess the way in which they do things is so dangerous in the way that they're going about it. It's so crazy how the story's portraying them as bad people, but at the same time, I'm like, but if they don't do something, all of you are gonna die, and there's no one else that knows about this but them. So I guess it is like a ends justify the means kind of thing. It's like, would the people of this world accept what they're doing if it means they can live another day? You know what I mean? Like, they really are selfless. Like, I can't really be mad at Renee like that. He only took the actions he did because he calculated the coming of the apocalypse. He wished to save the world. So is the world really on the verge of destruction? I believe this to be a pathological delusion caused by paranoia. Were the apocalypse real, would you be able to forgive Narzissenkreuz? No. It's a bit too early to consider such things. You have yet to understand what happened to you. And as for you, Seymour, your hostility is a result of your programming and duties it imposes. Exactly. I suppose we must find the... Oh, I have that! The Holy Blade of Isn't that the sword that I have? I'm talking about the real one, of course. As much as it is quite strange to say, the ceremonial sword of the Magic Society is real. Not only will it help us stop Narzissenkreuz's plans, but its unique powers may be able to undo the merging of wills. We should be able to separate Lyris and Marianne, and then Miss Anne, you can defeat the evil dragon Narcissus and rescue Princess Lyris. We're about to give everybody a happy ending. Regardless, let's get moving first. That's the spirit. It might take some time to explain, but let's move out first and explain as we get there. Well, is this sword for, like, legit? Is this actually going to be like a weapon that we use? A holy sword that bears a special meaning in a certain story. It belongs to no one. Yo, we're about to actually slay a dragon, potentially. Oh, shit. Okay, we're moving. Yo, we move, gamers. All right, I got to make it to that statue of the seven. We're jumping into the new area now. A ton of lore was just shoved into my brain. Wait. Hey, little. Oh, this, Wait a minute, who is that? Meow, meow, cat with a black hat. All right, we'll come back to that. I was like, what the heck? At first, I thought that was Lenore because I saw the dog and I was like, oh my God, it's Prince and all of her new pets. And I'm like, she's kind of far from home. I don't think that's her. Wow, look at this location, bro. Holy shit. This looks so cool. Look at that shot. Yeah, atmospheric visibility is acceptable today. Yeah, this is a great shot. What a beautiful day. Enough that you can see that tower over there, yes? I passed by it earlier, actually. I fucking will never forgive Hoyoverse for not letting us get rid of HUDs. This is such a beautiful shot right here, a beautiful picture. That building was once known to the Narzissenkreuz Ordo as the Tower of... Ipsissimus? Is that how you say that? But we would later call it the Tower of Gestalt. All right, let me write that down. It was named for the idea that things that have been separated need to be combined to display their original complete form. But I suppose I might be speaking in reverse. The heart was complete to begin with, and the mistake was to divide it up for separate study. Paimon doesn't get a thing you said. It's fine, don't worry about it. Plays on words are also a trick that mysterious organizations enjoy pulling. What matters is what we must do next. Yo, up close and personal with Seymour. Some of the vocabulary used is missing from my semantics index, so I cannot properly parse your meaning, but I understand the last sentence. Please tell me what I can do. While investigating alone, I found a map of the seal. Oh, okay, so that seal. The seal of chemical marriage. You could say that I found 4 seals. Oh shit. Okay, so it's each location and then the center of it is the tower. Yeah, the tower is one of the locations. It's not the place we need to go. That said though, perhaps our destinies will yet take us there in the future. Either way, we need to use the position of the tower to create the other 4 places. I'm sorry, to locate the other 4 places. That's why we've come here first. All right. Also, like the 4 seals, the 4 orphants, Oh, the 4 orthanes, like from the story. So what are those 4 seals for? Get it? That said, we've discovered from experience that it's usually best practice to just break the seals and give whatever ringleader we find a good walloping. As for me, I'd like to restore the Holy Blade of Narzissenkreuz. Cool, a new weapon! Well, I suppose we could just call it the answer. As I've said before, the Narzissenkreuz Ordo once had a ceremony to remove ego and will. The Holy Blade was used in that ritual. I remember something about that. If Lyris and Marianne's will created Anne, and if the old me was placed in some hilly churl's body... Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait a minute. Didn't we already find the Holy Blade? What? Really? Oh shit! Aether upgraded from the freaking dull blade, guys. Holy cannoli, that's crazy. A wooden sword? Come on, man, it's the Holy Blade. What do you mean? It's the wooden sword we found during our adventures. Yes, so it is. Hey, what kind of reaction is that? Perhaps you could think of it like this. That's a wooden sword found in the Narzissenkreuz Institute, named the Holy Blade of Narzissenkreuz. That makes it more important than any ordinary wooden sword. Perhaps it might be of use when the time is right, just like the Holy Blade in the story. Okay, so in the final moments, we're gonna use this blade to defeat the fell dragon. Does that mean we're gonna see Renee then? He's like the only one that's missing in action here. And if the whole thing is, oh, we're gonna fight a dragon at the end, and he's interpreted as the dragon in the story, I wonder if that means we're gonna see him. Anyways, assuming I looked at the map at the right angle, we will find the entrance of one of the seals nearby. Wow, that was the prelude? That wasn't even Act 1? Holy shit. Okay. Oh my god. Wow. They basically just said, Arnold, you haven't done shit yet. The quest starts right now. Have fun, my dude. We just got all the dank information. I gotta pace myself real quick. They just gave the blue text, so you know some crazy shit's about to go down. I am very excited to see what happens next.